Hello everyone, welcome to the 5 Minute Tech channel. Today we will be continuing on our journey of choosing the right communication protocol, and today in that regard we'll be talking about REST as a communication protocol. REST is an acronym for representational state transfer. It is architectural style for distributed hypermedia systems and was first presented by Roy Fielding. Like any other architectural style, REST also does have its own guiding constraints and its set of architectural constraints which are chosen for properties they induce on candidate architectures. So that is the representation here. It has a uniform interface and it's reusable. So the guiding principles of REST are as below. Client server, by separating the user interface concerns from data storage concerns, it improves the portability of the user interface across multiple platforms and improves scalability by simplifying the server components. Statelessness, each request from the client to server must contain all of the information necessary for it to understand the request, and it cannot take advantage of any stored context on the server. So server state is therefore just kept entirely on the client. Cacheable. Cache constraint requires that the data within the response to be a request implicit or explicitly labeled as cacheable or non-cacheable. If a response is cacheable, then a client cache is given the right to reuse that response data for later equivalent requests. Uniform interface. By applying a software engineering principle of generality to the component interface, the overall system architecture is simplified and the visibility of the interactions is improved. Now, in order to obtain a uniform interface, multiple constraints are needed to guide the behavior of the component. REST is defined by 4 interface constraints: identification of resources, manipulation of resources through representations, self-descriptive messages, and hypermedia. Layered system. The layered system style allows an architecture to be composed of hierarchical layer by constraining component behavior such that each component cannot see beyond the immediate layer with which they are interacting. So last one is code on demand, which is an optional principle or constraint, you would say. REST allows client functionality to be extended by downloading and executing code in the form of applet or scripts. So the key abstraction of information in REST is resource. It could be like a document or an image or any data which we share, and a collection of other resources, a non-virtual object. Example are like that. REST uses a resource identifier to identify a particular resource. For example, we have URI and similar stuff involved in interaction between the components. It also has resource methods. Resource method is used to perform a desired transition. Now, Roy Fielding emphasized that resource method should be uniform interface. If we decided HTTP post to be used for an update a resource, rather than most people, what we recommend is using HTTP put to update it. But it's all right, an application interface will still be RESTful. So we'll move on to a quick demo on how we can create a RESTful API. So we'll switch on to the Visual Studio now. So here I have created a web API project in .NET Core, and it has one controller which is called Books controller, and I have a model called Books, and the same structure of middleware for any .NET Core application, web API application is present here. If I can expand this, so the Books controller has these APIs in place, and these are all RESTful, and I'll be showcasing them as to why I call them RESTful. So we have get all books, which is an HTTP get. We have get book, which is again a HTTP get, but it gets a single book. And we have save book, which is HTTP post. HTTP put for is updating any book, and HTTP delete is for deleting any book. So when I run this application, you can see these RESTful APIs giving us the responses. So let me just try out one and show you the result. So this is, by the way, Swagger, which is automatically provided with any .NET app, API implementation. So as soon as I try to get the list of books, I get a collection, and this is the resource, the API, the URI, which is it, and it gives us the response. So this is a responsive REST API giving us a response. If you can see below, there are other constraints which are fulfilled by the model on what we want, and this is how a REST API works. So that's pretty much for the introduction part of the REST. I hope you like the video. See you in the next one. You have an absolutely fantastic day.